Governor Beshear is being labeled an attack dog for Vice President Harris on former President Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance. The Ohio native's memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, details in part his travels to Kentucky with his grandparents to visit family and the personal struggles of being raised by a low-income single-parent family. While some have praised it being a story of overcoming hardship, others, like Governor Beshear, say it paints a negative picture of Appalachian people. The two have since engaged in a war of words over the other's authenticity.
It's very weird to have a guy whose first job was at his dad's law firm and inherited the governorship from his father criticize my origin story. Like, yes, nobody gave me the governorship and nobody gave me a job because of who my father was. I'm proud of that.
He called them lazy, acting like he understands our culture and he's one of us. He's not. This is a guy who went out to Silicon Valley that's trying to be an everyman. He ain't one of us.
And the governor has continued those bombs as recently as Thursday's weekly press conference. Representative Bray, I'll start with you here. Does either politician have room to speak here on this topic?
Well, I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that the governor's even commenting on this because, you know, he was born with the silver spoon in his mouth. J.D. Vance was born with the plastic spork in his. I mean, I'm from the foothills of Appalachia. My grandparents migrated to Hamilton, Ohio, which is just south of Middletown, where JD's from. They raised some kids up there. They moved back here. The kids that were old enough, they came back during the summers, much like what, you know, happened with the vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance. But to me, it's crazy because there are so many people from my community who have stories just like his. My grandparents, you know, I just talked about, they raised 2 grandchildren because the family suffered from addiction. It's just disingenuous. You know, the governor's spent his 5 years in office kind of portraying himself as being above politics, and then he's waited out in this kind of as an attack dog, and it just doesn't make sense.
Representative Aull, how do you feel?
You know, I would say what's disingenuous is trying to profit off your people. In that book, he calls the people in that region lazy. I just don't think it's sincere to say you care about where you come from and how you treat your people and go about and call them lazy. You know, some of the hardest working folks I know are from Appalachia, from the 606. And Governor Beshear is exactly right. You know, he got the line right. He ain't from there. And for him to try to portray himself like he understands all of the folks and all the trials and tribulations of that region is just disingenuous. He's a person who went and traded with hedge funds and, you know, Ivy educated, and that's great that he went and got a great education, but he does not reflect the entire region. And what he's doing in this campaign, you know, bringing up that, you know, we're going to criticize him for drinking Diet Mountain Dew and that's racist. I mean, it's weird, some of his lines and what he's saying on the campaign trail, and it's because he's not an everyman. He is not one of us.
That certainly created some moments for the internet, but Representative Bray, go ahead.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who was dirt poor. His grandma had to raise him. To say he's not one of us, he doesn't understand the American dream, enlisted in the United States Marine Corps right out of high school, went to Yale Law with the GI Bill, raised himself up. Yeah, he went to Silicon Valley, but that was after the fact, after he had written Hillbilly Elegy. And so to me, to say he's not an everyman, that's what's disingenuous.
Something that's been brought up, and I want to ask y'all's opinion on, is whether the senator should have visited that region during the floods that occurred 2 years ago. That anniversary is occurring this weekend, and that's been brought up often on social media that he should have been more present when that happened.
I think it's absolutely the case. You know, as much as he exhibits and pretends to care about that region, the difference is the boots on the ground. Where are you going to spend your time? Are you going to put your money where your mouth is, and are you going to spend the time in that space? How many times has Governor Beshear visited specifically that region, those communities, those homes, and those families who were devastated by that historic flooding? I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens of times he has been there and he's done that, including the president went there. And so it shows a man's character in the times when you're pressed, what you decide to do and not do. And for him not to be there, that tells us all we need to know about him.
We'll let you go ahead and give a quick reply before we go to break.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I saw a Facebook post this morning with a picture of J.D. Vance in Eastern Kentucky with the CEO of App Harvest touring that after the flood. So unless I'm missing something there, I don't really see what the controversy is about.
All right.